Welcome, welcome, welcome to another Survivor Debrief exit interview. And we are so happy. Well, not happy is probably the wrong word, but we're delighted to be talking to the lovely Zara today. Our final four, our fallen angel, if you will. It all came to a crashing halt last night. Zara, thank you so much for being here. How are you feeling today?
I feel fabulous. I watched it last night with basically 6 of my Brains tribe people. So it was the best way to watch it. It was really, really fun. I had a lot of fun moments in that final episode, and yeah, it was a nice way to go out.
Fantastic. Well, I've got a couple of questions that we want to go through. But first, congratulations on being the last woman standing in a field of very competitive women this year. There were so many big personalities. It was great. But I do want to go back to the start, and I just want you to just tell us, what was your casting journey like? How did you get cast, and had you seen much Survivor beforehand?
So I've watched a lot of American Survivor.
Yeah.
I've since the first episode of the first season, I said I'm going to go on that show. I don't know how, because I'm not an American citizen, but I will be on there. And then obviously they had the Australian one came out. I haven't watched a lot of Australian Survivor, I will confess. I've watched your season a couple of times before I went out
Good
there, so
prep
I'm very
work.
well versed on that one. Yeah, but I just honestly, I had this feeling that when I tried out, I was going to get on. So I waited for a gap in my schedule when it was convenient for me, and then I blessed them with my presence.
Oh, that's a great comment. Well, we're all very thankful that you came along for this season. I feel like you really hit that theme as well, that Brains theme. It was fantastic to watch you. I just want to say now, in terms of strategy-wise, coming from the Brain Tribe, what was your strategy going into the show? And then how did that change once you were out there? Did you have to sort of renegotiate that?
Definitely. I mean, I think you go out with all these grand plans and you think that you've watched it and you think that you know where you will fit in. But the one thing that you can't prepare for is the people. And the people that were out there definitely had such different personalities to me and came from such different walks of life, which was a beautiful thing. But I think I was very scared on day 2. I thought I was in some serious trouble. I was like, everyone here is so much younger than me. I'm 44, so I was 43 when I was out there. I don't talk about what's your favorite movie and which gig are you going to on the weekends.
Yeah.
Like, I'm packing lunchboxes and driving my kids around. But as everywhere, you find your tribe, and I found the graduates and then the postgraduates, and they were my people. So couldn't pick 5 more different people, and somehow it just worked.
I love it. You mentioned alliances, and I thought, like, first of all, obviously we had the Coven straight up, which was really fun, and then the graduates and the postgraduates. Just like you to talk for a minute. Why ultimately did you think the Coven didn't work, and what actually was the secret to the graduate success, and how did you guys make it to Final Four together?
So I think the graduates were my most important alliance, and all of our most important alliance. So I think that everything that came after that, because we really formed, we were getting together straight away at the start, and probably by about day 7, the graduates had decided, this is it. These are the people that we're going to go with. So the other alliances that we're all constantly forming are coming under that. So that was always the most important one to me. The Coven, I think the main problem why it didn't work is that when we were out there and the 4 of us got together, we all had other people that we were closer to. So Laura had Rich, I had AJ, and Logan was close with Max. And then when you have to vote some of those people out, we could never get on the same page.
Yeah.
Who else was going to go. So, and it also, 4 very independent, strong, feisty women, we just found it very difficult to negotiate. And I've listened to quite a few of your podcasts, and I think that you say as well that when you're in an alliance with 4, sometimes you need people who will just say yes. And with the Coven, there was none of those 4 people that were just going to say yes.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, love, man, big fan of the podcast. Love you even more, Zara. I want to talk about just moves. This is just sort of general stuff, and I do ask everyone this. What do you think was your best or strongest move out there? The strongest thing you did, and then maybe what was something that you felt put you on the wrong track? Maybe it was a mistake or something out there.
So my final jury pitch, I was going to highlight mostly 3 moves.
Yep.
The first move, getting out Ali, which I had to do by myself because Karen had been sent back to camp. This was supposed to be coming out party. We're graduating. The graduates are here, standing our ground. And it actually worked out really well that we didn't have to do that because I could just off that I'd panicked and made a mistake. But that was a very big move for me, having to go with the 3 boys and take Ali out and go against the coven and, you know, dig myself out of a hole when I got back, and everyone was very cross with me. So the second move is obviously the stealing of Laura's advantage, as it will now be known around the world, or you know, the knowledge is power that really everyone kind of known about. That was massive for me as well. I actually, when Laura found that, I said, we absolutely should just send Jessie. Still, I was like, how funny will it be the next morning when we wake up and Jessie's over there, when we go to the mat and Jessie's on the other tribe, and we've, you know, Morgan and Kate would be in disarray, and so would the rest of the Brawns, because they'll have, you know, seen where everyone's loyalties are lying. But unfortunately, Laura didn't want to do that, and so then it just became eat or be eaten. So that would have been the next move that I would have talked about. And then this final move that I made of 5 of taking Kate out, which I believe you understood very well, which a lot of other people didn't.
Well, let's talk about that one for a second, because I did have some questions on it. So like you alluded to, I actually really liked the move. I thought the only thing that could go wrong in this move was if Miles won immunity. That's what I felt. I felt like there was a definite pathway. I think you could have really flipped AJ onto Miles. And I think AJ has that ability to get into Kaylin's ear about, no, let's actually do Miles. We're all on board with this. I actually think that was probably worst case scenario for you when Miles won. And I think there was that great shot of you when you hear he won and you're just like, oh no. It was such a good soundbite. But did you want to talk about that, about your thought process and your different options that you had in front of you at that point for the Kate vote?
Well, I mean, you've laid it all out for me there. So Kaylin, AJ, and I, that was the path forward. Was we had discussed that over and over. We were going to go to final 3. Miles was absolutely going to be voted out there if he didn't win immunity. He knows that. I think everybody knows that. This is no shock. We mathematically calculated the statistical probability of Miles winning that final immunity challenge. We thought it was about 8%.
Yeah, wow. Oh, man.
You've got a lot of time on the beach, and that was what we spent our time doing, was working this out. We mapped it all out. And, you know, Kaylin had won everything.
Everything. I know.
Everything. And even at that point where I'm standing there relentlessly throwing sandbags up in the air at that point, just anywhere, I was just standing there waiting for Kaylin to win. I was just waiting for JLP to say, and Kaylin's, you know, I'm waiting for the next step, just thinking, great, cool, we can get back to camp and just enact this. And we had also spoken, there was a great challenge in the US Survivor where they all wanted to get out someone, and they came back and just started helping one person to win just to get Miles out. And like, that's what we had discussed doing, was like, if it's something that it looks like I'm going to be good at, you boys come back and help me, and then I'll take it out, just so that we can get him out.
Keep it away from Miles. Yeah.
Anyone but Miles was basically the thought process there. So, yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful plan, and everyone is kind of looking at it with the benefit of hindsight. And of course, last night on that final tribal council, I was too, but I still think I still wouldn't have gone for AJ at 5. I wanted to take out Kaylin. And the start of my conversation with Miles at that final 5, I went to him and said, if Kaylin doesn't win the necklace, can we go for him? And Miles said, no, I want it to be AJ. And as soon as he came up with that plan, for me, it was dead in the water. And there was no incentive for me to vote out AJ, who was my #1 ally.
Yeah.
So I keep saying, you have to get there, right? You have to get
to make the
like,
pitch.
What's he doing? And I'm like, nobody wanted to go into that final challenge with me. I run marathons. I might have been very bad at some challenges, but I was very good at the endurance ones.
You were very good, yeah.
I had to have people that were willing to be with me in that final 3.
So ultimately, who did you want to take to the end? Who was your final 2 in that final tribal council in your head?
Well, I have said I was going to take AJ, and that
Yeah.
was my thought process then. If I had have won the final 3 challenge and I had the 2 of them in front of me, would I have been smart enough to potentially pick Kaylin, who I would have had a better shot against? I hope so. But yeah, in my head, I was taking AJ. And I said that to him at the final, at my last tribal council. It was him for me.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think it really started to cement later on the game. People started to really feel like, who's going to take me to the end rather than who am I going to take? There seemed to be a lot of conversations out there going, okay, I need to keep this person in the game because they're going to take me. But I think you were probably one of the few people that were going, I'm going to win the last immunity and I'm going to choose someone to take with me. And I thought that was good. You were really backing yourself going into that last one.
Yeah, I mean, that's talking about regrets on the island. Not getting to do that final challenge is probably the biggest one. I really wanted to do that and see, what I was made of and see if I could just stand there for as long as possible. So
yeah. Love it. Is there anything that surprised you out there that when you were actually on the beach out there that you're like, oh wow, I didn't think it was going to be like this? Is there anything that surprised you?
The rain.
Yeah, dude, tell me about it.
Come on, I thought I was going on like an island vacation where I'd be getting a suntan. Wow, it rained a lot out there. I think nobody can prepare you for how hard it is out there too. That shocked me. Like, you go out with an impression of how bad it's going to be, but not bad, but it's just really, really difficult on every scale, like mentally, emotionally, physically. But I think too, we were all quite shocked by how quickly you get used to the conditions.
Yeah.
So, that's your life now. You just live in that hut.
What did you guys call it? The pig pen for a while?
Pig pen, yeah, that's my house. And my joke out there was, I've said to my husband, I want a palm tree. Like, I want a palm tree in our house. And I would wake up in the morning, there's this huge palm tree. I was like, maybe I've made it.
This is it.
This is what my life is supposed to be.
This is it. That's right. Oh,
yeah,
man.
I just think very quickly, it makes me feel happy that if a zombie apocalypse ever comes, I'm just going to be able to slot right in.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
One other thing that's been talked about a little bit, especially in this jury phase, and look, I don't prescribe to gender voting lines or anything like that, but people are talking about it. How did we end up with 6 women on the jury and what will be 2 men? And such strong, confident women. But you look at the jury and you're just like, oh wow, how did that happen? Any insight into that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very attractive looking jury as well.
Oh, very, very much so. Yeah.
Especially when I get there tonight as well. It's really interesting. And I think probably it as a woman, it does make me a little bit sad that we did put we put ourselves there. We couldn't get it together to, get the boys out. So that is disappointing. But yeah, for whatever reason, it just ended up like that. The women were running the game until we weren't.
Yeah, that's what I felt. I really felt that. Hey, with the with the Kirsten vote off, was there any point in that you were actually going to flip to Miles? I know it was very daunting then going to the bottom of that other group, but there was that live tribal aspect of it and a few things that went from AJ, they switched it to Miles. Was there any part of you that thought, yeah, you know what, I could do this and then try and rebuild bridges? Or was it just too scary going to the bottom of those 4?
It's not that it was scary. It would have been a dumb move.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like
they literally, if they had thought of wanting me in their alliance, they voted for me the last 2 tribal councils.
Yeah.
Why would I go over to these people who've literally just tried to get me out twice, or I can hang with these people who've just gone to rocks with me? And plus, I've been with these guys since day 2. It's better the devil you know than better the devil you don't know.
100%.
And you cannot tell me that if I hadn't jumped over to those girls, are they going to be like, wow, thanks so much, we owe you our lives? No, they would have sent me home the next day. I was better off with these guys that I know them really well as well. I have such a good read on those boys as compared to the girls. And the girls came to me and their pitch was, who do you want to vote out? You come over here and you can be our leader and you can tell us what to do. And I was like, well, that's not the way this works. You need to come to me with a plan. I don't need to go to you with anything. So yeah, I found it really interesting as well that I feel like I wasn't the only one there. If they wanted to argue for their life, why did they keep coming to me? Like they could have gone, or like they just kept coming to me, and I kept saying no, and they kept coming in. And I was just like, at some point, that's on them. That's not on me.
Yeah.
I've been very clear about what I'm doing. They need to try and work another angle, and they just didn't.
Yeah, because I think what people seem to not do post merge, everyone sort of said, "Oh, come guys, do a big move, come with us, do this," but no one actually put in the social capital work to actually say, "Hey, I know I'm with these three, but you and me, let's you and me do something, and then we'll pull someone else out." And they didn't build those relationships over a longer period of time. It was just very much like, "Hey, you should do this now." And it's just never going to work like that. And I think you raise a really interesting point that's not talked about enough, is the ability to read people in your group. And I think that's a really interesting point. I know how AJ reacts to stuff. I know how Miles is going to react to stuff. I don't know how Kate really thinks or how these guys. And I think that's probably something that gets overlooked a lot when people think about who they want to work with. So that's a really good point. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And just, I was asked before about AJ and his hostages situation and how we reunited Brawn Beach. And, you guys seem to get on really well. And it's like, because I know AJ. I know what he was doing. I know him so well. Like we were together from day 2. So it's kind of overlooking all of that. And the girls as well were a block of 3. Nobody was wanting to be my bestie.
That's what I mean. Yeah. That's exactly what I mean.
To slot me over at the bottom there. And I did have great working relationships with each of the boys individually. So it just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. We've got a couple of minutes now before we go. So just a few quick little ones. Is there something that didn't make the edit that you'd like to share with all our listeners at the moment?
I think Kaylin and I had a really great relationship, which hasn't been highlighted. So I have an 11-year-old son, and when I was out there, Kaylin sort of became my surrogate son, and he was baby K and I was Mama Z, and he was always walking out of camp without a shirt, without a sock, and so I'm like trailing around after him, like can't go into a challenge like that. You know, come on, you've got to have your clothes all together. So that was probably something. And also I had a really beautiful friendship with PD that just didn't, after he got taken out, that kind of didn't matter. Kristen, Cara, and PD and I were going to become a foursome when we all merged and kind of have a floating alliance over the top, which would have been really powerful and a really great way to feed information back and forth. But unfortunately, PD in that pasta challenge.
Kaylin, coming for them. That's all right. But I just like hearing that, because there's a lot of things that obviously gets edited out and cut on the floor that people are like, oh, I wish everyone saw that, or wish something like that. So it is good to...
my most important story actually that's gotten edited out. So on day 2, Miles came up to me and he's like, oh, how much do you know about Survivor and and I'm talking to him and he goes, I just really wanted to work with you because traditionally the old lady goes really far in the game, like goes deep. And I'm like, the old lady.
The old lady.
Old. And it was like recurrent through every challenge, and everybody would bring it up. If I was doing well in a challenge, Karen would be saying, JOP, you know, the old lady's doing well. Like, Miles said she's an old lady. So it was just a really funny thing, and it didn't get put in, but we still love it. That's still basically what he calls me now.
I know, and that's like, mate, you're 43, I'm 41. We're in the ballpark. We are young people.
Yeah, the middle-aged mafia.
Coming back for All Stars. Love it. And quickly, just last 2 questions now. What is the biggest thing that you're going to take away from your time on Survivor?
It has really changed my point of view in that when I came back, I just thought, like, I'm very social, but I wanted to make my world smaller, and it's just made my family really important, and just that time that you never get back, I guess, when 2 months of your life has evaporated. So I'll definitely take away that. And just, I think I've proven to myself that I am really mentally strong and tough. And and now I've got these weird and wonderful characters that are going to be in my life forever as well.
So good. So fun. And our final question that we always ask is, what is your favorite film? I'm a film nerd.
Gladiator. So I was very excited when 2 came out.
Yes. So good. You're not entertained. Well, what a fantastic way to finish that, my friend. Love your work, Zara. Congratulations on making it to the final for our Fallen Angel. You've done a great job. Cannot wait to, if you're ever down in Melbourne, please look me up and we'll hang out. Thank you very much for your time,
Absolutely.
my friend. Enjoy the finale
Thank
tonight.
you. Yeah, can't wait to meet you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.